NFL Nation, how you doing? Come on in as the NFL is now live on the air, and we got family in the house tonight. You see,
Yes,
Mr. Jack Kavanaugh is here. Believe in lines. Let's go.
So clear, I feel the end and it's near. The day of reckoning's here, the sound of deafening fear. Don't die if you try, you just might get a little bit of trouble, K-N-I-F-E, right in your side, you would never see me coming. Don't die if you try, you just might get a little bit of trouble, K-N-I-F-E, right in your side.
NFL Nation, we here, we in the building. Want to welcome everybody into the show. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Dolph Jackson. We're going to go around, let the family introduce themselves. The man right up above me, introduce yourself, fam.
What's up with your boy, Carlos Clayton, the host of Uneducated Sports Talk with my co-host, PJ, but also representing Come On In Sports Network. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Thank you.
What's good, everybody? My name is Nonfiction, one half of the duo for Real Fan Sports. Welcome to the channel, y'all. Welcome back.
Hey, second half is in here too. What's good, guys? My name is Zach. I'm Super Real Fan Sports. From the Come On In, it's not Real Fan Sports just anymore. It's the Come On In Sports Network, man. I'm excited to be back here and talk some free agency with you guys. How y'all living?
Doing good.
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, and there he is, our family member, special guest. He family, ain't special guest. You just family now.
How's it going? Thanks for having me back on. It has been a great off season so far. Just another masterclass by Brad Holmes. So life is good. Living the dream.
Life is good. Living the dream, man. And listen, free agency got kicked off. And listen, it was crazy. Even before free agency, we had former Pro Bowlers and Super Bowl champion quarterbacks getting released, teams taking almost $100 million cap hit just to get rid of them.
That's crazy.
You had one day you got teams saying that they're not gonna go after him. The next thing you know, he's scheduled a visit, then he signed to that team. Listen, it's been a whole whirlwind. We got our final member, our final host just came in. He just got in from volleyball practice. Introduce yourself to the family. You're muted.
You're muted, coach.
You're muted, coach.
What's up, guys? What's going on?
Man,
What's up,
man,
I'm just a volleyball dad. That's all.
Man,
I thought you were out there hitting the spikes.
Listen, I just served it up to you. Perfect,
bust my ass, man.
All you had to do was spike the ball, man. All you had to do was just spike the ball, man.
I tried, dog.
Bro.
It ain't there no more.
Got you, man. But listen, we gonna have some fun tonight, man. Listen, let's get to it. It's free agency, man. I'm gonna get y'all thoughts, man. What has surprised y'all so far during free agency? Which signings, releases? Coach talking about nothing. So nothing that happened surprised you. Everything that happened, you expected to happen.
I'm gonna tell you how I feel about free agency. I think free agency has become a joke, man.
Explain yourself,
please.
Coach, you're muted, Coach.
You good?
There you go.
You can hear me?
I hit it. Yeah, I hit it by mistake because I know you about to say.
My thing is now, man, when you look at the dynamics of teams now, free agency is it really doesn't play a big part. You look at, for instance, Kansas City. Who big name free agents went to Kansas City and helped them win a Super Bowl? It's mostly late draft round picks, undrafted kids that are making a name for themselves. You look at these most of these players now, they get undrafted or they live through that rookie contract, and when they get to that big money contract, free agency or whatever comes up, they just average out and become average players. Most of the time they hurt. They stand on, you see your money, they stand on the sideline with the big earring and the ear hanging over the big earring. They're not even on the field, man. You don't pay them all that money. I mean, you look at the teams.
You say they're losing their grit. They're losing their grit. They toughness. They will to play. No one plays to play football to leave a legacy anymore. A lot of them play.
That's what I'm saying, man. And I really think free agents is just where they get their money and they just become just average players. I think now that the dynamics of a good team is through draft, unsigned rookies, and you kind of blend that in with some free agents, but there's no free agent like you say. Wow, they like back in the day, you could say, "Hey, if I sign this guy, if I sign Carlos, man, you know I made a splash." You don't get that no more, man. They get that money, you be like, "But damn, where Carlos at? He's standing on the sideline. He done sprung his ankle. He got a walking boot on for 4 months." You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just different now, dog. The game has really changed with this free agent. I don't see where free agency really is a big splash anymore now, man. You know, like I said, they go this money. I looked at who was it? The Titans signed, who was that, Ridley? They wouldn't pay Brown, but yet you get Ridley what, like 92 million? Like for what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that you mentioned Brown, because I was about to say there are a couple. And a lot of them is the people that are hungry and that feel like they were underappreciated where they were at. And Brown was one of them. Brown was, played for the Titans. He was their number one wide receiver. They disrespected him, didn't want to pay him top dollar. He goes to Philly and he balls the hell out. So it does happen, but it's not as frequent. I mean, like you got your moves with Saquon going to the Eagles. You said Ridley going to the Titans now. What really are they going to do now that they moved him?
Right.
And the Titans signed Mason Rudolph. Like, you gonna sign Ridley, then you sign Mason Rudolph? That's not 1 + 1 = 2. That's 1 + 1 = -2. Like, that don't make sense.
Right.
That don't work.
I can't say nothing. We signed Nathan Peterman.
Peterman. Yeah.
You know, the best thing I see is Andy Reid, because Andy Reid is like, "How much you want?" "Oh, I want 4 years, about 100 million. Andy Reid say, "Trade him." You know what I'm saying? The next man,
except for Chris Jones.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. He didn't say that to Chris Jones.
Well, I mean, he gave him, but when you look at their defense, they didn't have no big free agents.
No.
I mean, you said Chris Jones. That was it.
Yeah, but he was already there.
Chris Jones
He was already there. So he was already there.
Oh, you talking about free agents that they're bringing in? They're trying to trade Snead.
Well, he's the defending 2-time Super Bowl champions over the last 2 years haven't had any big splash names.
Right.
The biggest splash is Juju Smith-Schuster.
Right. And I mean, but they got Pat Mahomes, so it kind of cancels all
That's
out.
my point.
So I get that. The biggest thing for this particular offseason is the fan service. Like, so many names, and whether they're still big names, not really big players anymore, but still big names. There's a lot of them that we all knew. It wasn't, there's a bunch of trade / free agency. There's a lot of guys go out, but there's a lot of small names that we have no clue who they are. Or we do, if you're football fans like us, we know those guys, but they're not big household names. It felt like a third of the trades or free agencies were like big names, whether they're good or not now, but they're still like, we know that person, and that's the fan service. And one more thing I have to add is it almost feels like now, and it goes on both sides, both ownership / GM and the players. The players are okay with not getting that big deal anymore, and the owners are okay with letting you go so quickly, aka the quarterbacks, right? I mean, the whole 2021 draft class is almost out of there. It just 2.5 years ago, they're the franchise quarterbacks. These guys are gone now, and of course, these other guys, household names. No one is trying to really fight tooth and nail for that 4 or 5 year contract because they say, you know what? Like the NBA, it's a players' league now, right? Right? And they choose, and then like choosing your destination. Okay, I'm Saquon Barkley. You don't want me? That's fine. I'm going to go out there, and I guarantee you somebody's going to want me. I will take my talents on these streets and make it happen. And look at Philadelphia. Gave him a nice contract, something that he deserved when he's healthy, right? So guys are now betting on themselves more than not. And, of course, GMs are also more what I'm looking for? More willing to let you go early now to find something new instead of trying to fight, except for Daniel Jones. That was weird. But outside of Daniel Jones, these quarterbacks are like getting 2 years. If you cannot have any success with us, you are gone. You know, so that's how I'm feeling.
So kind of what I'm getting from all that too is like what is more important. I want to ask Jack this: is what's more important, making big splashes in free agency or developing in the system in your team? What's more important?
Oh, it's definitely the development. It's the building up the team. Free agency at its best, when it works the best building a roster, is when you're just plugging in those little holes. We saw it with the Kansas City Chiefs this year. There was no big free agent signing. Right. It was guys like safety Mike Edwards from the Buccaneers, who gets a 1-2 year deal. Drew Tranquill from the Chargers gets a 1 year deal. And they're contributors, but they're not the big names, the stars, because so often, like Coach Rock was talking about, you get the big names and it just doesn't pan out. Or the money that you spend on I'm going to give the example from the Detroit Lions. Jonah Jackson, Pro Bowl left guard when he was healthy, wasn't super healthy this past season. He gets $17 million a year from the Los Angeles Rams. And the Lions say, okay, we'll take another Pro Bowler, Kevin Zeitler. We'll pay him $6 million. We'll bring Graham Glasgow back for $6.6 million. That's under $13 million for both of our starters. And the Rams have to pay $17 million for one. So that's where free agency is at its best. You get the odd guy like Danielle Hunter from the Minnesota Vikings going to the Houston Texans, where he gets paid, and I think that might pan out. But outside of that, a lot of the big signings are just disasters waiting to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think it's funny because I actually noticed that with the Russell Wilson contract as well. You know, we saw the Steelers made a whole bunch of moves during the free agency week. They grabbed Russell Wilson before free agency started. They went ahead and got him over for the Broncos, signed him to a vet a vet minimum of $1.2 million, but he's getting paid $39 million from the Broncos to just not play there. Like, it's a win-win situation for them.
I thought that was my biggest surprise. Not that. First of all, kudos to Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson could have said, you know what, I still want money from the Steelers as well. He could have been like that, but then there might have been no trade involved if he wanted the money, because he could have got his money with Denver, but Denver is Denver, but he could have still got 30-some million from the Steelers if he wanted to go that route. So shout out to him, say, no, I'm taking a 1.2 little vet minimum. And let's roll with it. I got my money from Denver. We're good to go. So that saved the Steelers. And on top of that, they got Justin Fields too, which is like, okay. So like,
yeah, that was kind of wild.
That was wild. Like, I didn't see that coming because I thought Fields was just stuck like Chuck. But for a freaking 6th round pick, get out of here with that.
It could be a 4th round pick if he plays more than 51%.
Don't give a damn about that. You're right, though.
If I'm Pittsburgh, I ain't playing him until week 9.
I guarantee he's going to have a lot of goal line packages. There's going to be a package for Justin Fields. I promise you that. But to get those two guys who have plenty of starts under the belts as quarterbacks in this league, that was amazing from the Steelers to get it all for $1.2 million and a 6th round pick, maybe a 4th round pick. So I thought it was incredible for Pittsburgh.
I mean, Justin, in that situation, what makes that the worst thing about that whole situation? Denver was so desperate to get rid of him, they gave up $85 million in negative.
$85 million.
How much do you have to not like a person to say, we'll give away $100 million? We'll lose $100 million to get rid of him.
I wish someone hated me that much.
Yeah, but what's funny is, and what's funny now, they're actually, because it's before the draft, they're actually trying to talk up Jarrett Stidham. Man, stop it.
Okay.
Stop
it,
it, Sean.
I'm about to start watching
because I'm tired of
cheerleader competition.
This one I'm tired of. I'm tired of hearing people calling Sean Payton a damn quarterback whisperer. He wasn't no quarterback whisperer. Number 9 was the coach whisperer.
Could it be that he just got lucky with Drew Brees turned out the way he
did?
No,
listen, he good coach now.
This is my thing with all that too. Is like I always hate that conversation of Drew made Sean, Tom made Belichick, and like all
they
this
needed
stuff.
each other.
They needed each other. Now, who has proven more successful without him? I think the quarterback ends up being that. But do they get to that level of confidence in such without him? Another big thing that one of my good friends pointed out to me is that what Tom and Drew and what a lot of the great quarterbacks of that era did was they were students of the game. You don't hear about a lot of players nowadays, anybody except for maybe Patrick Mahomes, that's a true student of the game that goes in and learns, that knows even more than what the head coach does. A lot of people need to be guided, and I feel like that's a big mistake that's been going on.
Could Justin Herbert be one of those players?
Herbert?
He was held back because of the coaching.
The coaching was terrible.
I don't think it was. But we will never know because
I
now
think
he lost
everybody on that roster was held back because of the coach.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
The team was held back because of the coach, not just Herbert. Herbert had a great year regardless, but the team itself, which could have catapulted Herbert to another stardom.
To stardom,
whatever. That had a big thing to play. Hey, Coach Rock, I want to ask Coach Rock something. All right, all these big names, right? How do you feel about Kirk Cousins getting the bag to Atlanta? We're talking 180 million, 110 guaranteed. Like that's a big splash. How you feel about that, Coach?
I mean, I think that was the going market. I don't know if he's gonna produce for all that money. I wish I was good friends with him, but
I try to get that payday loan.
When I made the joke earlier, guys, like seriously about I'm at the point of watching Chile. I think the NFL is headed to a real bad place, and why I say that. These guys are blessed beyond measure, man. The money they make to do and play the sport they love, and they just cry babies now. Nobody wants to compete. You know, it's I'm the man. I don't want to look over my shoulder. They're getting their feelings, and like it's now like coaches got a baby farm. Like you heard, who was it? With the Commandos, that
Eric Bieniemy was being too hard on him.
He was too hard on him, and man, like this game is getting so soft, bro. But and it's just to me, it's just getting so soft now, man. And like I said, these guys are blessed, man, to do something they love and make the money they're making, and they're just becoming more crybabies now. And it's like, you see the older coaches are getting out the game now. They just can't relate to it no more. And I don't know, man. I looked at today with Marvin Harrison Jr. because of his daddy's name. He didn't do anything in the workouts. He's not talking to me. Well, who the hell are you, Marvin Harrison Jr.? Because of your dad, you don't have to work out because you're talking about your body work from old films. I didn't see you win a championship at Ohio State or anything. You know what I'm saying? Right, but we are building these kids up, man, and it's just so much crybabies now, man, to where it's just getting crazy to me, bro. And it kind of frustrates, you know. That's just my opinion.
I see you had your oatmeal today, baby. Don't come in with that oatmeal, baby. Come with that oatmeal energy, baby. That's what I'm talking about. But listen,
he's not lying, though.
No, he's not lying. He's not lying. And a lot of people feel the way Coach feels. So let's examine this Pittsburgh trade for Justin Fields. Highway robbery, we all would agree. But again, I personally, I guess I was in the minority of saying I wouldn't have traded Justin Fields. I would have traded that number 1 pick, got more assets for years to come, filled the cap. Because to me, Justin Fields is a player that has progressed every year. He's gotten better. He's gotten better, and especially when they finally got him a number 1 receiver in DJ Moore. Now they go out and they bring in Keenan Allen. So they're loading up right now for Williams.
That's they've looked in a while.
Yeah.
As soon as that Keenan Allen trade went through,
I knew
Fields gone.
Yeah.
Fields
Yeah,
gone. That is not a trade for Fields. It's a trade for Caleb Williams.
But but the crazy thing is, you make that trade for him, but like the most you do to help out Justin Fields this whole time he was there is go grab DJ Moore. And I ain't saying DJ Moore's bad, but he ain't a true wide receiver. Ain't no one gonna argue me with that. I know he had a couple 1,000-yard seasons, but if you watch those games, the amount of balls that dude dropped, it was insane. And the reason I know I had him on my fantasy, and he pissed me off every single week because I would see him get 7 catches, but he'd have 15 targets. Like it wouldn't make no sense.
But
this is my thing too. One more thing, Carlos, was them trading him didn't make sense to me for something so low as a 6th-round pick. I mean, I guess they're hoping that they'll be able to get a 4th out of it, but why not just keep him underneath and just have a little bit of fun competition? And this goes back to what Coach Rock said. Nobody wants to compete anymore. It used to be quarterback battles during training camp and preseason was good to help develop young quarterbacks. It ain't like that anymore. Now it's like, oh, this competition, it hurts my feelings. Like we saw that with somebody recently. Was it
Kenny Pickett?
Yeah, with Kenny Pickett. It hurt his feelings.
And he the last person.
Right. Right.
The last person.
I know he ain't saying something.
He should have been quiet as a church mouse. He shouldn't have been saying anything. Jack, let me ask you this, Jack. If you were the Steelers, would you have waited out the Bears? I'm saying because I feel like the closer it got to the draft, the more desperate the Bears would have got to unload him. You probably could have got him for even a 7th-round pick or a future 7 next year, or they would have been forced to let him go. I was saying if I was Justin Fields, I would have preferred that they release me, and that way I had my choice to choose where I wanted to go. What's your thoughts about that?
Yeah, it's absolutely always better when you can hit free agency and choose yourself. There's conflicting reports here. The Bears do say that they had 5 different offers, including what they got from the Steelers. So I think the Steelers did have to make the move then. But I think the biggest story here is the Bears shot themselves in the foot. They held out way too long. They could have gotten something more earlier in free agency or before free agency kicks off. But then you start to see landing spots dry up. Kirk Cousins, he signs. But even guys like Sam Darnold, he signs for $10 million. And the Vikings are like, nah, we're good. We're going to draft a rookie anyway. So we don't need to trade a day 2 pick, a 3rd-round pick for Justin Fields. And then you just start to see, okay, Sam Howell goes for a 4th-round pick. Kenny Pickett goes for a 20-spot move up. And the Bears just held out too long saying, no, we want our 3rd-round pick. We want our 2nd-round pick. And teams just weren't going to pay that. So I think the biggest story here is the Bears screwed themselves by waiting far too long. As for the Steelers, they just capitalized on it. A future 6th-round pick that can become a 4th, and it's never going to become a 4th. It's great. And the craziest part is Russ is making 1.2. I believe Fields is making 3.4. So combined, they're making about the same as Jimmy Garoppolo this year, $4.5 million.
Yeah. Wow.
And if you're the Bears, I mean, you had to give it up. I was just going to say before the Dixon Way came in, the locker room was split. It's going to be a locker room issue because people love just even Colt Kmet came out there and said they called us. I don't know who they is, maybe a GM or ownership. They called people who were really, really close to Fields and said, hey, we're letting Fields go to Pittsburgh for a 6th-round pick. But my thing is, if you're the Bears, if you know your future is Caleb Williams, did just get rid of Fields. Now, I was fine with that 6th-round pick. I don't care if it was a 7th round. Get something out of it. I wouldn't. Hey, this business. I wouldn't release him either. I would have traded him for a 6th or 5th or 4th, whatever I could get out of this kid because it is business. That 6th-round pick could be the next star. Right. You never know, right? So, but all I'm saying is, like, if you're the Bears, if you knew from the jump, and they knew from the jump, they were getting Caleb Williams, right? And they're like, yeah, we got to get rid of Justin Fields, and let's just do it now. Get out the way because. The longer you wait, the more scrutiny, the more media, the more where is Justin Fields going? Is he going to stay or go? And you don't want to answer all those dumb questions, knowing that you've got his potential replacement coming in 1st overall pick of the draft. So get it on now.
Yeah, they couldn't.
Fresh start. Caleb Williams is our guy. Here it is. I don't give a damn what y'all think. He is our guy right here. No more Justin Fields. That's gone. Let's go ahead and put all our focus now on this one guy from USC.
Right. They couldn't. They couldn't afford to have that bad energy in the locker room, man. They could.
I mean, but again, you have a quarterback that's coming straight out of college, and of course he's gonna play. He's gonna start, but the statistics is 30%. I'm gonna stick with that statistic every time we talk about a quarterback coming out of college going into the NFL.
Yes,
they win 30% of their games. So even if you kept Fields and let him play out one more season, at least the kid can learn something. He might not learn everything from Justin Fields, but when you bring on Brett Rippon, he gonna learn something from Brett Rippon? Like, what are you gonna learn from Brett Rippon? That's his backup. What are you gonna learn from him? Who's Brett Rippon? That's the quarterback they just signed.
Yeah, you're right. Brett Rippon. Rippon. Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna learn from him?
Not a damn thing.
So, what's the point of doing that? Because now you put yourself behind the 8 ball. If Caleb comes out and is not good right away, all these new signings, Swift, Allen, it don't mean nothing.
They're
going to be going a year and a half, 2 years anyway.
And let's be real, though. Let's be real. Yeah. We are talking about people saying this kid is a generational kind of quarterback. So now a lot of folks won't agree with that. I'm the one that says that he's going to be a really good quarterback.
I don't think he's generational.
Yeah,
Trevor Lawrence.
Not about Trevor Lawrence. Right.
They like to throw that word around too often.
The talks about it are like, he's just that guy. He's that it guy. So that was also the belief from Chicago. It's a can't miss prospect. Let's go ahead and get him right now. And Fields has got to go. And I think it's a good thing that those two aren't on the same roster with each other, because you would have had that as Caleb Williams sit out a year and wait for Justin Fields for last year, and you know that Fields goes up there, the first bad move, boom,
bring him in,
Caleb Williams,
for sure. I mean, this is it, and actually I'm gonna add on to that a little bit too. I mean, my thing is, the thing I've always expressed is, look at how many quarterbacks start their rookie season and end up being highly successful. I mean, it's really the rare few. I mean, right. Drew Brees sat behind goodness, I'm forgetting his name now. Over in, no.
Doug
Flutie. You had Tom in Bledsoe. You had Aaron sit behind Brett Favre. You had Patrick Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith. It's a thing of learning, and I've always been a big advocate for good quarterbacks. You do have to start them, especially if you're grabbing them first round overall and all this stuff like that. But like, having someone there to help teach and develop them is important. And no one's been able to develop a quarterback in Chicago. The best quarterback that they've had is the dude that likes to smoke Marlboro Blacks.
Jay Cutler, smoking Jay.
Yeah, that's the best they had. Now the question I have, and then let's move on to the next team is Alex, Jack, this. Do you see Justin Fields taking over the starting position for Russell at some point in the season? Because as of right now, they've said there is not a QB battle for the starting spot. And they said that they plan on re-signing Russell Wilson to a long-term contract after 2024. And that's according to Brian Diardo. What do you think? Do you think he'll switch?
So I think there's a good chance that they will. And another report that came out earlier today is that the Steelers really aren't beholden to Russell Wilson. If it goes badly in training camp, they could just snap their fingers and move on. They could cut him before the season if it goes that poorly. Now, I don't think it goes that poorly. I also don't think it goes that well. So I think at some point, maybe it's week 10, maybe it's week 11, late enough in the season to ensure they're not giving up that 4th round pick. I do think we see Justin Fields for the final 4, 5, 6 games. And like we mentioned earlier, I think we do see him used in the red zone, kind of a Taysom Hill-like player who can run the ball, throw the ball, and has those goal line packages.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That's where I looked at it too. It's the thing. If I'm Pittsburgh, my biggest concern is that there are already Pittsburgh fans that are trying to go at the neck of Mike Tomlin, which we all agree is pretty stupid. But that's just how they are. And if they bring in Russ, who a lot of people think is past his era, past his time, and just doing his thing, he starts playing bad, you'll have that same situation as if Justin Fields stayed in Chicago and threw one bad pass, they'd be calling for Caleb Williams. If Russ Wilson starts playing bad and he's not playing good over the first 6 games, they're going to be coming at his neck to start Justin Fields because they need to find a franchise guy. They haven't had any luck since Big Ben.
I think that they'll have a good mixture of Fields and Russell Wilson. Like I said, the red zone package, like Jack said, the red zone package for Fields. I think they'll see Fields enough to where Fields will give him a spark somehow to where he doesn't have to necessarily be the starter any time for this season. I feel like Russell Wilson's gonna get him there to between the 20s, the hashes, whatever, and then here comes Fields, goal line package, and do some things. So.
Russell not gonna make it through the season, bro.
Why do you think that? Why do you think that?
Yeah, why do you think that?
Because he's not likable.
No, I'm gonna tell you right this. Tomlin, Sean Payton, and of course the Legion of Boom, the Legion of whatever.
They didn't like him.
They didn't like it because his personality is fine. But they were also big personality people. Right. Sean Payton's a big personality person. So when you don't like him, then it becomes a personality thing, and on national TV, then all of a sudden it's divided. Mike Tomlin is the head. He's the head of that snake. He will not allow that to happen in his locker room. He's dealt with the crazy and Antonio Brown, right? But that was a head case, whatever. He's dealt with the Le'Veon Bells, but they still kept pushing and kept going on. Right.
I feel like him being in Pittsburgh is a ideal situation. I wish he would have been there before he went to Denver. I wish they would have made a move to grab him because I feel like Tomlin's the type of coach that he is the leader of the ship. He's the captain of the ship, but he allows people to be who they are, and that's why he is so likable as a head coach. He still leads these men and helps them play winning football, but he allows them to do it in their way. Sometimes almost too much, as we've seen with some of the head cases that have came out of there. Now, Blaze Smith did have a question for Dolph. He said, do you think Justin Fields would get traded in the first round or second round to try and jump up in some picks? Will they try to trade him off?
That's a good question, Blaze. I never thought. But how soon can a player get traded after he was just traded?
I think that can't happen. Not right now. I don't think so.
I don't think.
But even so, my quick answer, no, you're not getting traded.
I don't think so either because nobody went for him before, so I don't think.
Why would you trade him again?
Now the trade deadline, I could possibly see a team making a deal for him during the trade deadline.
That's different. Yeah.
But now, Blaze, I don't think I think it's a rule. I don't think a player can get traded then team turn back around. I don't think he could do that back to back. If anything, it'll be during the season at the trade deadline that they'll be able to do something. But thanks for your question, Blaze. That's not Blazing Saddles. That's just Blaze.
I mean, my biggest thing about Russell Wilson is people are constantly talking down to me, and I was one of them when he first went over there. I knew the Denver experiment wasn't going to work, but it had more parts to it than anything. But when you start seeing him actually play, and when they had an actual consistent offense working around him, he still threw for over 3,000 yards. 3,000 yards, 26 TDs, and 9 interceptions. Like that was a good year. Yes. That was actually a good year. But now, I mean, I think that the receivers in Denver and the receivers in Pittsburgh is two different caliber style of receivers. I think he will have more success in Pittsburgh, especially with that coach. I'm not saying Sean Payton is he might be over the hill. It just might not be his time no more.
So let me ask you this now. Was that a really good season, or do the numbers just look good?
I said his numbers look good.
No, I'm saying.
Yeah, his numbers.
Was the season Russell Wilson had? Do the numbers reflect that season, or were they stat pattern? Let me put it like that.
I don't think it was stat pattern because the receivers he had, you can't really stat pat with those receivers. They're not that good.
No, they wasn't. No.
So Russell Wilson made things happen that shouldn't have been happening on that field with those receivers.
So what went wrong? What went wrong?
I think the relationship between Sean Payton and Russell Wilson was the issue. Sean Payton, his personality, he's like y'all say, he's a personality coach. He's like Chuck. He's like Chucky. They're personality coaches. They're bigger than life. Russell Wilson's a square. That's not his personality. He's not like that. He keeps to himself. He talks about God. He keeps it pushing. So when you have those two types of personalities, they don't mesh. That's why I don't think I think Sean Payton experiment in Denver is not going to last long.
It started off real rocky. I know that.
I don't think it's going to last long. I think he's done. That's how I personally feel. I don't think it lasts long. And sorry to Saints fans, but I think that man's done.
No, we don't even care. He ain't here no more.
I just think Sean Payton, man, he from the jump, he didn't like Russell Wilson from the start.
Yeah, from the jump.
Russell wanted him. That's what's crazy.
But that's fine. Russell wanted him, but Deshaun want Russell. I mean, Russell wanted because he had Drew Brees, and Russell
from Drew to Russell.
Russell wanted that playbook. He wanted that playbook.
Yeah, he idolized. But the thing is, the type of quarterback that Russell Wilson is, and the type of play caller that Sean Payton is, that was not going to mesh. On top of that, the personalities clashing as well. It was never going to mesh. And now Sean Payton's ego is the reason why. His ego.
Ego.
When he came in, $85 million just kind of wasted, right? And dead money.
You convinced Walmart to give up $85 million.
Yeah. So he's gonna eat that. And right now, through all this quarterback stuff going on,
price check.
Where is Denver with a quarterback? Like, what is your plan?
They don't have a true number one.
They don't have a true number one. They can't really get in the draft to get a day one starter. So I mean, I don't know what they're doing right now. Are they waiting for Shedeur Sanders next year? I don't know.
Maybe.
But you gotta
that'd be interesting. I know. Sean wanted to play with a mobile quarterback during his time at the Saints. It just never appeared to happen. Maybe.
Hey, bro. I got a question before we move on, bro. I got a question. Is Coach Screen frozen or is he a damn manager?
I was just about to ask the question to the coach. I had to get him on, man. He ain't locked in.
Yeah.
He tired from all them spikes, bro. He was digging into the ground, getting balls up.
Because he looking that way, but he ain't moving. I don't see his eyes blinking or anything. I don't know if the screen frozen or nothing.
He watching game footage. He watching game footage from earlier.
Well, go ahead, Zach. I just need to know that, man.
Look, I had a question for Coach, man. So, like, the next topic we're going to talk about is all the moves that the Eagles have made. Eagles made a lot of moves last year. Didn't pan out the way that a lot of people expected. They go ahead and sign Saquon Barkley from the rivals, Giants. Giants fans hate him now. I forgot who said he's dead to him. Tiki Barber said he's dead to him now.
Don't listen to Tiki Barber.
What do you? I used to like Tiki Barber. What's your thoughts on Saquon going to the Eagles? Do you think that can be effective on their offense, Coach?
I don't care who go to who, man. I really think it goes to all these players gonna buy into the system they're going in. Do they believe in the coaches who are coaching them and the system that the coaches are implementing, bro? You can send whoever, wherever. If that coach ain't getting, if they're not buying into that system, it just ain't gonna happen. And that's why I just gotta wait and see until like the season, see how they gel, that locker room gels, how the players gel together. Because I see you're dealing with so many egos and stuff now in the NFL, and so many baby five players, man, and all that's got to mesh together. And the coaches like really got to get those players to really believe in their systems to make this go now, man. You know, so with all the movement, all the moving pieces, this one going that, it's all gonna come down to
proof in the pudding.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna come down to, do they buy into that system? Do they believe in that coach who's coaching them? You know, and I really think that's what it comes down to now.
Well, if we're talking about that, what do you think about the coaching staff over at Philadelphia? There's a lot of questions at the end of the season.
Well, you see, last year it didn't work, so he made a lot of wholesale changes on the offense and defensive side of the ball. So
that's going to change things.
Yeah. So let's see what happens now, because I mean, they started like 10-1.
It was they started off hot, and it was interesting because, you know, a team with Sirianni that looked so well the year before, obviously going all the way to going over to the Super Bowl, losing in a unfortunate fashion. It was probably one of the better Super Bowls we've seen in the last decade. To come out and then just look so poor defensively, they looked like they were not intact. They didn't have any understanding what the play call. There was even rumors, or I wouldn't even say rumors, because the coach even came out and said that there was times he allowed the players to make the play. Mm-hmm. And it's like what's going on there? What's your thoughts on that, Jack, with Philadelphia?
Yeah, I think Sirianni kind of lost the locker room and just lost the team in general. And I think the Eagles realized that as well. That's why it kind of became an ultimatum when he met with the owner of the Eagles. It was, okay, what's your plan to fix this? Because this ain't working. And the exact same conversation was had with Doug Peterson. That's why Doug Peterson ended up being fired. It was, okay, how are you going to get us out of this mess with Carson Wentz that we've created? Doug didn't have the answers, and so he was out of there. So I think the Eagles do believe. What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, that's right.
You got the answer, Sway. I heard you.
But anyways, Kellen Moore, they bring him in. They think he's going to be able to get the offense going. He's younger than Sirianni, but he is a veteran coach in the league, so they think he's going to have a voice. They bring in Vic Fangio. He's a bit of a hard ass in a good way, and so they think he's going to be a little bit more structure. And so I get the decisions that they made, but ultimately, I'm not a big believer in Nick Sirianni. I think he needs more adults in the room. When they were up on the Kansas City Chiefs and he's flipping off the sideline, that was a very revealing moment for me.
Is there something? Is there a such thing as too much of a player's coach? Because that kind of feels like what Sirianni is to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your thoughts, Carlos? It looked like you got opinion.
I got
the same guy, man, that put in Matt Patricia as the D coordinator or whatever coordinator he was. It didn't make any damn sense to me. I was like, that's how I knew something really ain't right with this coaching staff right now. Because at that time, the Eagles defense was still playing fine under the old defensive coordinator before he got let go. But I mean, they had a few cracks, but Patricia just really blew the thing open, and I didn't get it one bit. So and that's on Sirianni. That's a bad coaching stand, in my opinion.
Hey, Carlos, I got a question for PJ. PJ, I need your help on this. I need PJ help on this. PJ, please explain to us why in the hell the Eagles traded for Kenny Pickett and not Justin Fields.
I was wondering the same thing.
She said it don't matter. They both suck. It don't matter. They both suck, so it didn't matter. Y'all.
Thank you, PJ. Thank you.
That is a great question because Kenny Pickett's style has nothing to do like what the current quarterback situation is.
Yeah. So what I've read was that the Bears were still holding out, saying, "No, we want more," and the Eagles are kind of like, all right, well, then no, we're not going to do that. Here's this trade for Kenny Pickett. And at that moment, the Bears realized, well, we're not getting what we want for Justin Fields. Had to lower their standards at that point. And it was a panic moment after they said no to the Eagles offer for Justin Fields. So that's what I've read. There's probably some gray in there, but it sounds as though the Bears panicked after Pickett was traded.
And unlike PJ, Pickett was bad, but he wasn't like horribly bad. Like, he wasn't like god awful bad. I did see him. He had a lot of good fourth quarter comebacks, although he was probably the reason why he didn't come back. But yeah,
play that song. Play that sound. Play that sound. Where is it at? Where will I find it? You know what sound I'm talking about. Can you play that sound for me?
What that?
Where that? That boom boom boom. Yeah. What do you mean he wasn't that bad?
He wasn't that bad. I mean, I've seen some horrible things happen. I mean, we must be watching the same game. I've seen this guy have multiple fourth quarter comebacks. I'm just saying, like, albeit he was the reason. Kenny Pickett, look at his fourth quarter comebacks in his 2 years as a starter. It's got like 4 or 5 fourth quarter comebacks. Man. Yeah, and he the reason they had. But he's the reason why they had to come back.
Because of him. It was the receivers not blocking for each other because they don't want to get hit.
What I'm saying is in this world, I want to do this though. This free agency now, we know the NFL is not for long, and it's funny how all these young QBs, you're talking Desmond Ridder, Sam Howell, right? We're talking about all these young guys, 2 years of experience, right? And they're done. They're done. Now, mind you, this draft coming up is a kind of a special quarterback draft, so I get it. But man, like it's like if I'm a quarterback in the league my rookie year or my sophomore year, I better be like C.J. Stroud. If not, I'm gone. I'm gone.
That's just it. That's so rare. That is
exactly. Yeah. And it's almost like, bro, like, what can I do? Because you put me with this bad team. If I'm Justin Fields, if I'm Desmond Ridder, right? Denver had the bad coach, all that stuff. If I'm Justin Fields, you didn't have no playmakers besides DJ Moore in your final year. And then if I'm like Sam Howell, I'm throwing to Terry McLaurin. That's pretty much it. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
give me a chance to even show my greatness because you suck at your job, GM, right? So it's weird. Like these kids aren't even given a chance to be starters, and all these bad teams trying to be great like that. It doesn't happen like that. You know,
Right.
Sometimes you got to build around your quarterback and then get your quarterback, right? And they want these guys, these first round picks, who it might take some while, but they need players around them. But you think that every first round quarterback is going to be a star and just no, it doesn't work like that. Build your team around, build your line, build your defense, and then get your quarterback. And he could be. We've seen plenty of regular decent guys win Super Bowls at the quarterback position, the Trent Dilfers and all.
Right.
But you had something around them, a great defense, right? Timely playmaking, good running game, something like that. Today's NFL, these GMs are just like, nah.
Right.
2 years, if we that's it. I know when they gave you Boo Boo 1 and Boo Boo 2, but you got to make Boo Boo 1, Boo Boo 2 really, really good for us. It doesn't happen like that no more.
So
all right,
before we continue on, let's bring in a little team pulse here, man.
Yeah. Oh, all right. We back.
Hey, we always jamming that.
I don't know. I like that. I like
that. Me and Dolphin that thing jamming the whole time.
I got one. All right, Jack. I got one question for you. I see the moves that you guys made, but I need you to talk to your GM and find out what the hell he was thinking when he gave Marcus Davenport a contract.
But before Jack answers that, big shout out to Red Swarm, man, with a $5 super chat bomb to the channel. Red Swarm.
All right, Swarm. Know what, man? For that, man, you get the trumpet, man. You get the trumpet, man. Thank you, Swarm. Appreciate you. All right, Jack, talk to us, man.
So looking at the Lions moves, yes, Marcus Davenport, I understand he didn't work out with the Saints, didn't work out at all with the Minnesota Vikings, but he's on a $6 million contract. It's the same deal that they gave Chauncey Gardner-Johnson last year. He didn't play for 15 weeks of the season, and it was fine. The Lions were fine without him. So it's kind of a low risk, low reward. But the other moves that the Lions make, I am an absolute massive fan of. They trade for Carlton Davis. That was their biggest need, was a cornerback. They trade for Carlton Davis. He now becomes cornerback 1. And the last couple of years, Davis was really wasted with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They moved to a heavy zone scheme after being man before that, where Carlton Davis thrived. Now he goes to the Detroit Lions, and it's a man-heavy scheme as well, so he gets to go back to what he's comfortable with. That could be moving Cam Sutton down to cornerback 2. He could be getting cut. There's some legal issues there that I'm not going to get into that broke today. But at worst, you've got Amik Robertson, who they just signed from the Raiders to be cornerback 2, or there's still moves to be made there. And then on the defensive line, yes, they added Marcus Davenport. I don't think they're done at edge yet. But the big news was signing nose tackle DJ Reader. Yeah. So he comes in there. Absolute monster unit against the run. And since he's a nose tackle, that lets Aleem McNeil, their young breakout defensive tackle, play more 3-tech. He gets after the passer more. So that even though Marcus Davenport, not the splash I was hoping for, the defensive line is better. The secondary is better. And the other biggest hole was guard, because left guard Jonah Jackson walks. They filled that with Pro Bowler Kevin Zeitler as well. So outside of that, the biggest needs left. Still need another edge rusher to make an impact. You need a wide receiver 3. You've got Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams. And you need a third safety, because right now you've got Kirby Joseph and Ifeatu Melifonwu. And after that, you've got nobody. So if wide receiver 3, safety 3 are 2 of my 3 biggest needs after free agency, I'm pretty happy with the masterclass from Brad.
So let me ask you this. With the Lions trading for Carlton Davis, does that take them out the cornerback derby in the draft? Because before that trade, I was hearing that the Lions were heavily considering taking the cornerback. Do they still take a corner?
I think they're still going to be heavily considering it. We saw Kool-Aid McKinstry. He's got a broken freaking foot. and he runs a 4.47 at the Alabama Pro Day. If he's available, that type of grit, I can absolutely see the Detroit Lions drafting. I think they're going to be drafting a cornerback within the first 3 rounds, but I think after that trade, it's not a you have to draft a corner in round 1. At this point, take the best player available. At some point, you're going to draft an offensive lineman. At some point, you're going to draft a corner and an edge, but it's not the need it once was. Still got to address it, but it's not the be all end all.
Gotcha.
So, and I got one more, and then we'll let you get on out of here. And just to kind of segue back into the Eagles talk, not re-signing CJ Gardner-Johnson. What's your thoughts on that? Are you glad he's gone, or were you wishing they would have re-signed him? What's your thoughts?
I liked CJ. I was happy when he signed with the Detroit Lions. It was a $6 million deal. And then he goes out and gets paid about $9 million a year by the Philadelphia Eagles. So misses the entire season, doesn't play well in the NFC Championship game. He's picking fights with Deebo Samuel, and he gets a $3 million a year raise. So I was all right letting him walk for that money. I would have been happy if he was back, but it just never felt like a true culture fit with the Detroit Lions. It felt like it was more of a me and not a we. We saw that in the NFC Championship game, and I'm glad they took the risk. I would have been happy if he returned, but at that price tag, I'm fine letting them walk.
All right. Well, look, Jack, we want to thank you as always, my friend, your family. You're always welcome. You have a good evening, and we'll definitely be catching up with you around draft time. So you have a good evening. Thank you, my brother. Before you leave, let everybody know. Shout out your channel, man. Let everybody know.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for having me on the show. It is always a pleasure, always a joy. There is no show with better music than this one, so thanks again for having me. You can find me everywhere at Javanaugh87. You can find me on the Believe in Lions podcast alongside NFL safety Glover Quinn. You can find me over on Player Profiler as well. And again, thank you so much for having me. Can't wait to come back and talk about all things draft related.
Gotcha. Appreciate you.
All right, Jack. Take it easy, dog. Yes, sir.
Have a good evening.
Take care, friends.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
big shout out to Derek L, y'all, with a $5 super chat bar.
L in the building.
Get back and comfortable.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, brother, as always. Man, somebody answer this for me. The Eagles before this past season, they did not want to pay Chauncey Gardner-Johnson virtually the same deal they just gave him. How does that make any sense? They could have just put him there last season.
I mean, did you see the secondary from this past season? They could have used them.
Yeah, exactly what I'm saying.
They could have used them. So sometimes, and kudos to them, sometimes you realize the grass ain't greener on the other side. They realize, damn, we should have kept this crazy mofo. You know,
I wonder how many Eagle fans are going to come back on all the trash talking that they said after.
Right. We love that guy, man.
It was bad over on his Twitch account. So I did see we had a couple of Falcon fans up in here, and I called y'all the right name instead of like making fun of y'all like I want to as a Saints fan.
My brother Reyes Jones.
Some of the Falcons moves that they got going on. They went ahead and picked up Darnell Mooney, and obviously we talked a little bit about Kirk Cousins to a 4-year contract. Let's talk about Mooney first. What's y'all's thoughts on the Mooney pickup?
Under the radar, I love it. I like them. I like them in Chicago. He's not a number 1 or number 2, but as a slot receiver, he can handle that slot. He has the ability to make big plays with the ball in his hand. I think it's an under the radar signing by the Falcons. I really like that move, me personally.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a good move too. I mean, looking at what they got, they picked up four decent receivers, not really bad. So I think I see what they're doing for Kirk Cousins, and I think it might actually work for him. I think it might actually work.
Yeah, please don't say that. But yeah, I agree though. I like the pick as well. Look,
it is what it is.
I mean, he is obviously the best quarterback in the South, like by a long shot. Yeah. And they have now the weapons that can complement him as well in his skill set. What he can do now. So yeah, I like these moves by Atlanta. You know, it's all on their defense, and I think that the offense will make their defense better if that makes any sense, you know.
Yeah.
So thoughts, Coach.
Coach.
So
say it one more time.
Atlanta wins the South Division easily.
No, I can see that.
No, he said enough said. Yo,
No.
Coach, I want to talk about this because I mean, obviously, we're not breaking this down enough. It hasn't been that much talk. Yo, what are y'all thoughts on? First of all, I was correct about this. All right. The minute that the Titans played the last home game and Derrick Henry had the microphone and said, "Hey guys, thank y'all for a great career in Tennessee. I'm out this mother." Anyways, I said he's going to Baltimore. I called it. I said he's going to the Ravens. He's going to the Ravens. If he wants a championship caliber team and a team that's in a need of a running back as well, it was perfect. It was perfect. Derrick Henry goes to the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, Coach, I want to ask you this first, Coach. Does that make the Ravens the team over the Chiefs in the AFC now?
I answer that quickly. Hell no.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think so. Not yet.
Why you feel about that?
I don't see where he really fits this scheme. Derrick Henry is a more downhill runaway. He has the 20, 25 carries a game compared to Lamar is more of a spread offense they run. So I'm trying to see how that's going to mesh in together with a downhill runner compared to where it was a more open offense now. So I'm just curious to see how they're going to mesh that offense together.
Well,
I feel like it's gonna take a coaching masterclass. I mean, because you're gonna have to try and find a balance with it. I mean, and the thing is, we forget. I mean, Derrick Henry is definitely getting a little bit older, a little bit slower, and all this stuff, but he's still a force to reckon with. And we've seen him line up in different wildcat formations and stuff like that, so he knows how those different plays roll out. Really, I think it's a hole that fills to the short yardage gains instead of having to do all this trickery to, whether it's a QB run, bouncing it to outside to go back 5 yards to gain 7. You can just line him up, put him in the middle, and let him go to work. I'm excited to see how him and Mitchell are going to work out together. The rookie who got injured last year, a little bit of lightning and boom, similar to what the Saints had with Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. And I feel like that could be similar. I hope they balance it out well. As far as making them better than the Chiefs, I mean, I don't know about that either. You can't. You gotta beat the champs to be the champs.
Right. And I tell you what, man. I seen Gus Edwards in this offense. He didn't get a lot of carries because he's Gus Edwards. He's not a big name. They had a plethora of running backs, right? But I've seen a few times with Gus Edwards, man. If he had the volume that Derrick Henry will have, he would have had 100 yards easily, like per game, just because of. So I see that downhill element sort of working for the Ravens. Now, as far as the Chiefs, Coach Rock, hell nah. But no. But still, a force to reckon with. I think so, man. I think so. But
I mean, I definitely think there'll be a force to reckon with. But I think to the question that you posed earlier about them being better than the Chiefs or giving a Chiefs run for their money, that comes down to Lamar Jackson. That's on him. That's on him 100%. When you look at the playoffs and how they fell apart, when you watch that game, he fell apart first. He fell apart, man, and then everything else fell apart.
I'm totally against all that. He fell apart, but the game plan going into that was horrible. I mean, that made me so angry watching that game.
He was soaking on the sidelines in the third. He was soaking on the sidelines in the third quarter. In the third quarter, he was soaking, looking sad.
And I get that. Y'all are a team that is a run-heavy team, and y'all decided to pass the
ball.
Yeah. I love it.
8 hours in the first half. I guess the only weakness that the Chiefs had was their run defense, and it was still good, but their pass defense was elite. It made no sense how they decided to go into that game. I don't know what they were trying to do, trying to catch them off guard. Didn't make sense to me. But speaking of, go ahead, Dolph. I'm sorry.
Hey, I got a quick. I want to give a quick shout out, family. Hey, fellas, right now we got 43 family members that are tuning into us on X. We want to let y'all know we see y'all. We appreciate y'all. Come on in, subscribe, join the channel as the NFL turns. Come on, be part of the Come On In Sports Network. We appreciate you. Of course, we appreciate our family members on YouTube. As always, in Twitch, we see you. We appreciate all y'all. Thank y'all for the love.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, man. Come on in. Let us know what you got going on, what you think your team has done. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? We got the comments open, so make sure y'all shout them out.
Matter of fact, Red Swan. That's what I'm glad you said. Red Swan. Do you like what the Falcons have done? Do you like the moves you guys have made? Right now, y'all the paper champs. Y'all the paper champs of the NFC South.
Like one thing I loved about the signing with Kirk Cousins is how excited the wide receivers were and Kyle Pitts. Kyle,
Yeah.
they said they asked Kyle. I forgot what the exact question was, but they asked Pitts, about what his thoughts were, and he goes, well, I just know that I'm gonna go and get targets each drive, because that's what Kirk Cousins does well, and that is something that they have lacked so many over the last couple of years. I mean, Drake London ain't no bum. Pitts obviously ain't no bum. They had some weapons out there that wasn't utilized correctly due to, a weaker offensive line and bad coaching and bad quarterback play. I think signing Kirk Cousins, it isn't like a Super Bowl move, but it's a move that's going to traject them into the right situation to be able to keep developing and try to get back up on top of the South. What do you think, Carl? I see you making faces.
Man, Saints 2-0 over the Falcons this year, man. That's all I gotta say.
hey,
dog.
I mean, I think what you're saying is correct, though.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
but and that is they're probably gonna win the division. I'm just being real because this Kirk Cousins adds a different dynamic to what a Ritter or even a Taylor Heineke could do for you last year. That was really their downfall, was their head coach and their quarterback play was just god awful. But I want to ask y'all a particular question dealing with the running backs. It's funny how over the last, let's say 7, 8, 9 years now, the running back has been kind of a downgrade or been an afterthought to certain offenses now. But we see all these teams making these moves, getting these running backs. Let's just break it down. We had obviously the Derrick Henrys and the Saquon Barkley, but then you get to the Austin Ecklers going to the Commanders, and then you get a plethora of these running backs. Joe Mixon going to the Texans, right? What does that tell you? First of all, what is your under the radar running back move? But on top of that, Coach, how do you feel about the market of running backs right now? Because just a couple years ago, they were nobodies, and now all of a sudden, these guys are getting paid $11, $12 million for their services because people really need running backs.
My biggest under the radar running back is Moss.
Zach Moss.
Zach Moss.
I got you.
Because he's the hungriest one. All the other ones kind of made a name for themselves. And I think they're going to kind of just be average backs. He's the hungry kid.
I like that.
He's the hungry kid. And I think he's going to be the sleep out all the running backs that made a move.
I like that.
It was definitely an interesting move between those two. I mean, Zach Moss going to Cincy and then Mixon going over to the Texans. I think it's positive moves for both sides of that.
Yeah, I was about to say my one is Joe Mixon to the Texans. I think he's going to have because that Bengals
absolutely.
Hey, but doesn't this give bigger kudos to Joe Burrow for bringing this bad O-line to 2 straight AFC championships and 1 Super Bowl, and like Joe Mixon even this year he just couldn't get going until the end of the season, but like there was no room for error with that O-line. Now he's going to a Texan squad that with a CJ Stroud and those weapons will open it up a lot more for Joe Mixon to have a monster year. I like Mixon going to the Texans. But I like Moss too going to the Bengals because like you said, Coach, he is hungry. And we saw when he was a starter last year for Jonathan Taylor, he balled out about 3 or 4 games.
Oh yeah. I mean, one of the ones that I hate that we don't have him no more. But the Josh Jacobs move to Green Bay, I think is actually pretty interesting. Because how Green Bay started looking toward the end of the season and in the playoffs, I think Josh Jacobs, that's going to be a crazy situation for them. They're going to look pretty nice if they could build off what they did toward the end of the season. It could be nice.
Is it me?
Hey, hold on, time out. We just got a crazy dono. Red Swarm.
Hey,
999 in the building.
Swarm in the house. Thank you, my brother.
I'm ecstatic, fellas. Kirko finally gave us a chance to see what we had with Pitts, London, and Bijan. Everybody knew we needed a real quarterback, and that's what Final took care of. Mooney was a plus. I like that. He said Mooney's just an added bonus to it now, baby. It's an added bonus, but then my guy, Reginald Porter.
Hey, Swarm, you know you're going to have fun, man. Now, listen. So, Jacobs goes to Green Bay. And Aaron Jones turns around and say, "Okay, I'm gonna go Minnesota."
Oh, Minnesota's trying to make up for getting rid of Dalvin Cook. That's what they're trying to do. They realized Madison was not the answer. Great backup. Ain't the start.
And Green Bay re-signed AJ Dillon. So
Ooh,
That
yeah.
one was a surprise to me. I thought Dylan was gone
I
for
thought that
sure.
was
I
gone
did.
too.
I did. I
What
did
has
too.
Dylan really done in his career
It's-
so far?
No.
And he's had plenty of opportunity.
Oh,
for Green
starting
Bay.
opportunity.
But that's just
Yes.
it. Now you got it with Josh Jacobs. He don't have to do that much. He's got to do a little bit, and
But
he'll look
still,
great.
Even his little bit, he was like, I never. I mean, his get off is just so slow. He's got a
3
slow get
yards.
off. And let's be honest, in today's
He a
NFL,
throwback.
yeah, but this isn't Natron Means anymore.
3 yards in a
right?
cloud of dust.
Yeah. This is-
Natron
yeah,
Means.
but
I heard that name in hell of a while.
This isn't
Chris
Mike
McCoy.
Allstott anymore, right?
Christian McCoy.
Everybody is
I love
fast
Mike
now.
Allstott.
Yeah, my
Man.
guy, but
They don't
all these
make him
big
like that
dudes
no more.
trying to run. I don't know why they signed him because he can't get off. He can't. His get off is slow. You know, he looks like me out there right now. If I was out there, my get off now, his takeoff after the get off is fast. But
I mean,
Right.
if he's just a short yardage guy, then it might not mean
but
nothing.
my thing is, he didn't even do anything in short yardage distance. I've never seen him
Yeah.
do that, and I'm still baffled by why is he signed. But Aaron Jones, I'm sorry, y'all, was it me or was when Aaron Jones got healthy, the
Oh,
Packers got
yeah,
really good.
God
Oh
bless
my
him.
God,
That
he-
was-
he's
that-
scary.
that
He's
was-
scary.
God
How
bless
many
him.
like 50, 60-yard runs did he have at the second half of the season when he was healthy? It was
But
insane.
They get Josh Jacobs, and they want to say, "Oh, it's because of the age difference." It's a 3-year age difference. Now it is a running back, so I get it. 3 years is a lot in running back time, but still, they gave him man 4 years, $48 million for Josh Jacobs, who's been relatively hurt for his career a lot of these years. I don't know. Aaron Jones not only was a great threat in the running game,
But he's only
also
1 year
was
removed from being the number one running back in the league, though. So
Yeah.
that's only because of injury.
I get that, man, but is he a difference maker like Aaron Jones was for that Packers squad? I'm gonna find that out. Like, can
I
Josh
think
Jacobs be
he
a
can.
difference?
I think
probably
I
he
got-
can be. Yeah.
he
I
probably
got
could,
I got
but-
a question for Rock because Rock I think is low key a Green Bay Packers fan the way he was picking them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Coach Fry, let
Love
holla at
don't
me and
live
let me know
anymore.
what you think about switching out Aaron Jones for Josh Jacobs, especially with how much of a force he was in the playoffs. He's the reason why they beat Dallas.
It was dumb. I don't know. I don't know why they did it. I don't know if it was a panic move or what it was, but that when I saw that was crazy to me. It was just right. You know, Jones was just right in Green Bay. I don't know, man. Some of these moves these running backs made just blew my mind. Some of the teams they went, I just don't see where they fit. I don't see where Jacobs is gonna be that much of an upgrade, if an upgrade at all, in a Green Bay offense. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think some of it was just panic moves, bro. To me, I think it was just panic.
weird. Now, so
It
as
does
far
feel that way.
as far as
I'm a slick, not a Green Bay. I'm a Detroit. I'm picking Detroit right now to go to the Super Bowl.
okay. So
Yeah, because you trying to get that football from
Yeah, baby. I'm gonna get it this year.
Saquon Barkley,
Got Kansas City and
Jack said,
Detroit.
Jack said, don't pick the line because your ass picked the lines and they got whooped by the line. Don't do that.
Don't
Jack
do
don't
that.
want that.
That's the coach didn't want to go for 3. That's
That was all coach.
Well, if he had to do it again, damn it, he'll do it again. That's what he said.
And guess
Hey,
what? Damn it,
I feel you, Coach
he'll
Campbell.
be sitting on the sideline again. Kick the damn field goal. You'd have been in the Super Bowl.
Saquon Barkley went to the Eagles not because of not out of spite. He went there because the money was right. And people forget that my man went to Penn State, right? That is Philadelphia territory. That's Pennsylvania,
yeah.
right? So people forget that dude. He's from the area. That's why. Now, my take is Aaron Jones going to Minnesota. That was a big FU move. Okay.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, you want to get rid of me? Okay. I'm gonna take this 1 year, $7 million deal. I'm gonna play you guys twice and bust you across your head. That's what I feel like he wants to do.
Now, Carlos, watch this. Watch
Yes,
this.
sir.
And that's why I said it was a panic move. Let's go back to the running backs.
Yeah.
Let's take Derrick Henry and let's put him in Philadelphia, going downhill to open play action for Hurts. Let's take Saquon and put him now in Baltimore with Lamar.
Oh my God. Yeah.
You
That
see
makes
what
him-
we got
yeah.
now? But on both
Yeah.
teams,
Those are better moves.
Those are better moves. You're right. Though. I love the way
Right.
those. Yeah, you put those
Yeah.
two, and I like that.
you
Right.
see? And that's
I
what
like
I'm saying.
that.
It was just panic moves that they made. Some of these moves they made, man.
Now it also goes to the free agent though. The free agent has got to choose his destination. So I think Saquon was a no-brainer going to Philadelphia because he's from the area, home, family. That plays a big part. Derrick Henry just wants to be a part of a winning culture and not that BS going on in Tennessee where they had some winning opportunities, but the GM just went dumb.
Yeah, I mean, I could just see them just feeding him the ball. And you come with the play action off of that.
Saquon with Lamar will be even more dangerous than Saquon with Henry, in my opinion. So I agree with you on that, Coach.
Man,
I agree with that. That would have been super.
Let's talk about some more running back moves, man. The Chargers. Chargers blowing themselves up, and I'm gonna get Nod's opinion on this first. One, they lose Austin Eckler. He goes and signs with the Commanders. You know he's chasing a bag. They sign Gus Edwards. They release Mike Williams, and then they're not a new coach comes in and they're not willing to pay Keenan Allen, who has been phenomenal. They're not willing to pay him the money he wants, so he ends up getting traded to the Bears. Because he refused to take a pay cut. Now, what is your thoughts on like all this situation going on in your division, man, with the Chargers? Is this
the funny thing? Oh, 100%. The Chargers, the Chargers actually had a competitive team before this free agency took place. Once all the little moves they made here and there, like getting rid of key pieces. But we talked about this at the end of the season. They were so close, so much over the actual limit what they had as far as money and what was actual cap space. They had to get rid of somebody, and unless they were going to say, okay, we'll renegotiate. Bosa renegotiated. You know what I'm saying? Like several other players renegotiated. But Keenan Allen was like, no, I need my bread. I've been here too long. I've been playing injured for y'all. Even when Herbert's not here, I've been carrying this team as best as I could with one hand and one leg. And you want to take my money away? Nah, I'm not doing it. And I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. But the way they look now, Denver, and if the Raiders ain't in second at least for most of the season, I'll be mad as hell. With how Denver is going from not having no expectations to full blown expectations. No, I feel that, man. Because the chart. Yeah, go for it, Coach.
In 3 years, the Los Angeles Chargers will challenge the Kansas City Chiefs to be the best team in the AFC.
Coach Rock, you sound like everybody on ESPN right now. I've been hearing that since I started watching football.
Harbaugh.
They've been saying
shop and get the groceries he want. He don't want that. He want his own type of, and I believe in it, bro.
Does that include JJ McCarthy? Are they gonna do the unthinkable and draft JJ McCarthy and trade Justin Herbert?
I don't think he's gonna.
Oh hell no!
I don't think he's gonna do that. No,
I've seen that talk too.
Who said that?
I've seen it. I've seen
that foolish talk, man.
No, man.
But don't be surprised.
Listen. I seen it from credible people. That's why.
No, all this JJ McCarthy crap gotta stop, man. No, man.
Because today I heard that the Broncos could move up to try to get JJ McCarthy. Right now, they're picking 5 quarterbacks to go in the first round.
God, they are, man. This oh my God. I guess, man.
So who goes first? McCarthy or the kid from Washington? Which quarterback are those who goes first?
Sadly, it might be McCarthy just because all the talk going on.
Yeah, it's just the hype right now.
McCarthy's hype has risen, and Penix's drop or hype has definitely decreased. A lot of people are analyzing the way he throws the ball, had questions about it. And the thing is, though, film study is all that important, and there's a good balance of what he shows on the field. Because on the field, Penix shows that he's a winner. So does McCarthy. But like if you're talking about like ceiling, whose ceiling is higher in today's NFL and the trajectory the NFL is moving, I feel like it's Penix.
Okay. I have a question for everybody with this quarterback thing.
Yeah.
Why is not the kid from Notre Dame in any discussion about quarterbacks?
Man, because he ain't that good. That's why. He ain't that good.
You don't think he's good?
He ain't that good.
I don't think he's NFL caliber. Yeah,
he does not deserve.
Not so fast, my friends. Not so fast,
Coach. I don't know what you do.
I'm with you on this one, Coach.
You don't pull that extra in your oatmeal. You and Zach Hartman. I tell you what. You let somebody take Hartman in the first round. Ain't gonna be the.
I didn't say the first round.
No.
I didn't say in the first round.
No.
I didn't say in the first.
No.
I didn't say in the first round.
Bro,
I just don't understand why he's not even mentioned that.
Because
that's what I'm saying.
Man, he ain't better than Michael Pratt, man. Michael Pratt better than him.
I'm not gonna say that, though.
I am.
I'm not gonna say that.
I am.
I think to me, he's in the top 6.
Coach.
He's in the top 6, bro.
Good night, Coach.
You know what I'm saying?
The oatmeal got to him.
Yeah, I almost muted him right now, bro.
Oh, man. Hey, you never know. From what I seen with Sam Hartman, especially with his Wake Forest thing before he was in Notre Dame, he was more of a deep ball thrower, up and get it kind of guy because he had playmakers on the end for Wake Forest. And when he got to Notre Dame,
turnover prone.
But he had the same kind of just throw it up there, and he had the great. It's not really a deep ball; it was a great angle to the sideline kind of ball. He threw a lot of those, but I don't know. It doesn't move the needle for me, honestly.
He doesn't. He doesn't. What does he do that impresses you, Coach?
I love this ball placement. I love where he places ball with his receivers. I mean, when you look at all the quarterbacks, they all got some mechanics to work on.
Right.
So, but I'm not saying he's like a number 1. I'm just saying why he's not in any discussion at all. I'm not saying he's like a number 1.
He could be better
he's
than
not
Bo
in
Nix.
no discussion.
No, he could be better than Bo Nix.
Oh, could be. I think he will be. I don't.
To me, Bo Nix. I think it was the offense. Because I saw Bo Nix.
The check down king.
When he was up against the best, week in and week out in the Southeastern Conference,
he wasn't doing nothing.
He wasn't doing the stuff he did.
He's the check down king.
Man, come on.
For Oregon, he'll throw a ball 4 yards and it'll go 50 to the house, but all the stats go to Bo Nix, though. You know, I don't look. This ain't about rookies right now, y'all. We gotta talk about
we talk about the draft.
Okay. We got Sam Hartman going on.
To get back on touch, man.
I thought you talking about in the first round. Like,
I didn't know.
What I was saying was, though,
I
do agree with Coach Rock on the Jim Harbaugh aspect. You know, I do agree with him that Harbaugh is kind of weeding out those guys that big numbers, but really the last couple of years, what have you guys done for our team? I know it was a bad head coaching job with Staley goofball, but I feel like Harbaugh's going to really put his stamp on this team. And yes, I mean, you get rid of the voices, right? You get rid of Keenan Allen. You get rid of a guy like Austin Glevel who might have big voices in the locker room, and then you go ahead and start over and do it how you want to do it. And I think that the Chargers with Harbaugh, he's won everywhere he's been. Everywhere he's won. Right?
And I understand that, but like my whole thing with it is Harbaugh's coming to a tough situation because of cap, like Nam was talking about. Definitely tough situation because people are going to have to buy in. But now you go into a place where what do they have outside of Herbert at this point? What do they have outside of Herbert? Palmer is right now their wide receiver 1.
Now
I don't even know who the backup running back is. Now you go from a team that was a coach away from being a top team in the AFC to now a team that we're not sure what their identity is outside of their head coach. They went from one side of great players, bad coach to good coach. Don't know what they are.
Well, I tell you who the running back gonna be. He coming right from Michigan.
God, dog, what's his name?
Corum.
Yeah.
Watch the lightning bolt on his helmet.
It could do this, and he is quick. His agility is by far one of the best I've ever seen. His agility.
He's tough too. He runs between the tackles.
But that agility is going to really help him out. Yeah, but his agility is by far awesome.
He compact, man. He's compact.
Yeah.
Hey, 5'8".
Yeah, he's a compact. Another Austin Eckler. But maybe I don't know if he'll be better than.
What was his speed? Did anybody know what his speed was? Because I'm like 5'8". I don't know.
Nah, he's more quick than fast.
Yes.
He's
in today's NFL, always NFL. I'm not worried about the speed of your 40 time. I want your agility. right? You're east to west. I don't give a damn about
agility,
north to
your
south.
balance.
'Cause
Well,
everyone's fast.
I'm asking about speed because he's small.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Dude is a beast, though. I've seen it. His agility is
Well,
going to
now
get
he's.
a lot.
Have you watched him run?
Dude's
I mean,
a beast, man.
He.
Well, what I'm
breaks
saying is-
tackle, he runs through tackle.
Yeah, that's in college. This is the pros. He's
That's
5'8"
true.
coming to the pros. I don't care what he did in college. He's
He
coming
could
to
be
the
Darren
pros.
Sproles. Like,
Yeah. Austin Eckler, Darren Sproles,
But Darren Sproles was fast.
David Meggett,
Fast.
Eric Metcalf.
Fast. So you're saying quick and fast is two different things.
I just see him with that lightning bolt on the side of his helmet.
You see him, Coach?
I see that lightning
Hey,
bolt.
family, there are 66 of us here. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe. You're watching Ask the NFL Terms, and we're live on the Come On In Sports Network. That's right, our very own network, and we are the Come On In Sports Network.
hey, also don't be afraid to share now. Don't be afraid to share. They got it on YouTube. They got it on X. You can repost it, retweet it, whatever they call it nowadays. Get some more people in here. We're going to be covering the NFL and many sports throughout this whole entire off season going into the regular season. I think it's time for some shout outs, man. We've had some big shout outs to some legendary players. First off being Mr. Fletcher Cox, who has officially retired from the Philadelphia Eagles, retired in the NFL. He finished off his career with 70 sacks, 519 combined tackles over his 12-year career. He made 6 Pro Bowls, 1 first-team All-Pro, and a Super Bowl win, man. Man, congrats on Fletcher Cox, man.
Great.
What y'all think about Fletcher Cox throughout his career, man?
I mean, I'm always a guy. I love guys that play on one team only, and dominate with that one team from start to finish. I love those kind of stories, man, because I'm pretty sure, I don't know about his family dynamic, but I'm pretty sure, him and his kids have built a bond in Philadelphia, going to school. That kind of stuff I really like, man, that you never have to worry about trying to go to the next team. But he was also a great player. And he meant a lot to the Eagles and the Super Bowl wins and their playoff victories they've had, man, over the last decade and some change. So I got nothing but respect for Fletcher Cox. And I like guys that you just never hear anything outside of NFL, right? Never anything negative about the guy at all, So shout out to him, man. Hell of a player. And that 2029 draft class is going to be phenomenal because we just shouted out Fletcher Cox, but there's also a big shout out to Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald, I mean, the man among
first ballot Hall of Fame, first ballot.
I don't even know if you can call him a man, bro. That dude.
Whoever's voting, if they don't vote Aaron Donald in,
he's in
on the first ballot, they need to be stripped of the privilege of voting for the Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
That is a first ballot Hall of Fame. But what about Fletcher Cox? Is he on the border? Or is he a Hall of Fame? Great.
He's a Hall of Famer. I don't know about first ballot, but he's definitely a Hall of Famer, though.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
According to all the statistics and stuff, they have him as a hopeful. They have him as a hopeful.
Gotcha.
They have him as a hopeful from what I've read.
Yeah,
and big shout out Aaron Donald, obviously also retiring. We thought it was going to happen after the Super Bowl.
Bye, Donald. Thank you, Jesus. Bye. Let him know.
Hey, did y'all see Kyler Murray's tweet?
No, what did he say? What did he say?
He said, "Thank God."
Thank God.
He said, "Thank God."
Man, it was a pleasure to watch him, man. And only for 10 years. It went by fast, man.
10 Pro Bowls and 8 first
that's crazy.
Crazy. In
10 Pro Bowls.
It depends on when you was watching them too. If you was watching to play your team, you didn't want to see that shit.
Hell no,
I didn't want to see him.
This dude ruined game plans like crazy.
I want to see him any other week but that week.
Aaron Donald, man, he finished off his career with 111 sacks, 540 combined tackles in his 10-year career. Like you said, 10 Pro Bowls. He's been there the whole time.
Dude,
he's a
tackle.
He also was the 2014 Defensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year in 2017, 18, and 2020. 8 first-team All-Pros, And obviously, like we said, sure shot
Man,
Hall of
give
Fame.
that man his yellow jacket right now.
Big shout out to him, man. Have y'all seen the clip showing where he was like not only quadruple team, I mean triple team, but he was quadruple team, like 4 against 1. Like they're like 8
he got
shots.
111 sacks coming up the middle. Yeah,
Up the middle,
people
bro.
got to realize how different that is. That's different. That's better than most DNs that have the easier route.
When he came in, man, he reminded me of John Randall.
Come on, I like John Randall.
Yeah, he reminded me of John Randall. Now, who's going to be the next Aaron Donald? Who's going to be the player to remind us of Aaron Donald? With Aaron Donald retiring now, the most dominant interior defensive tackle now is Chris Jones.
Yes, Chris Jones.
And
he's still no Aaron Donald though. As good as Chris Jones is, he's still nowhere near Aaron Donald.
No, he's not. He's not Aaron Donald.
And I love Chris Jones, and I love him, but he's not an Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald was a class on his own right now. Dude, I've never seen dude like put so much fear in a game plan ever, man. And when it comes down to a D tackle, tackle. Right. DNs have rep game plans notoriously over the years, right? But as far as the tackle,
right?
What? Come on, man. That's crazy. So shout out to Aaron Donald, man.
Hey man, y'all want to tell the family about the news, some breaking news we're gonna have coming up soon, man, about everything that's going on, man. Give him a little taste of it, Carlos. You know what stuff we got working.
Up to you, Capitano. Yeah, hey man, hey. Yeah, yo. With our fearless leader, Dolph Jackson, aka Dolph 17, man. You guys don't understand. We have the Come On In Sports Network. It's going to feature a main cast of Real Fan Sports with Zach and Nonfiction, myself and PJ with Uneducated Sports Talk, and of course, Coach Rock and Dolph 17 with the Keep It Real Who That Sports podcast, and various other members to join in to the Come On In Sports Network. This is going to be a network full of a lot of sports talk, pretty much. But guess what? Come on in and join the family, because it's going to have a variety of shows mixed into one on one network, y'all. We're going to make this just the best network that we can, and we want all your support, and we're going to do our part as well to make this the best damn network of all social media, not just YouTube, but all of social media, y'all. So thank y'all for just riding with us, man. If you are on Twitter right now, or X, excuse me, if you're on YouTube or whether various person you're watching, yo, come on now. The link is in the chat right now. Subscribe to not only As the NFL Turns, but subscribe also to Uneducated Sports Talk. Subscribe to Real Fan Sports, and subscribe to the Keep It Real Who That Sports podcast and other various shows that we have on this channel as well, you guys, to make this the best damn network of all social media.
Right. And let me just say, family, thank y'all, man. Everybody in the chat for all the support that y'all have been giving us. We wouldn't be here right now without you guys. And these gentlemen here that I partner with, these gentlemen I have great respect for. They're about their business, man. They work tirelessly, man. These gentlemen are already great. I've learned so much from them. I continue to learn from them. Together, man, we're gonna make this, like Carlos says, we're gonna give you guys our absolute best, give you the best content we can. And listen, it's not gonna just be live podcast. Listen, if you want play-by-play action, if you want play-by-play action like you listening to Lee Corso, like you listening to the great Brent Musburger, Jim, what's his name? Jim Brown, not the running back Jim Brown, the commentator Jim Brown, you know, Tony Romo. I know, though you get on your nerves sometimes. You got to follow my guy Carlos when he's doing the live stream, man. Okay. It's just like you at the game, man. It's like you sitting at home, you see him, he's there, PJ is there. It's like you at the radio, you're sitting at the radio, and he's bringing it to life for you, man. That brother does a great job. Then you got Nonfiction and Zach. Real Fan Sports Talk. These brothers cover everything. Badminton.
Yes.
Beyond.
That's Coach Rock.
Badminton. Hey,
he's a professional.
What was that sport? What was it called? BIG?
Kabaddi.
Kabaddi. I never heard that sport before.
That's a fool.
No,
that's a fool.
It's a sport.
It's a sport, man.
I could body your ass.
Yeah. So listen, And listen, then you got myself and Coach, man. Listen, we are so thankful for everybody riding with us, man. This is a dream come true, and we just getting started, family. And like Carlos said, we'll be adding members to this team.
Yes.
So look for us. Listen, we're gonna start bringing you a lot of high school too. Get ready. We're gonna bring you a lot of high school action. We're gonna start diving into the high school round. Listen, this gonna be a Total Sports channel. Again, we're looking to be the best, one of the best, if not the best, on all the social media. And we're looking to go on Fire TV too. Listen, we got big plans. We pushing, baby. We ain't stopping. We got another little Coach Rock right there.
Yeah, this is my co-host right here, bro.
Oh,
My co-host right here.
What up? What up? What up, nephew?
Say what's up.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
Even sound like it. Even sound like it.
Your daddy got you up eating oatmeal, man. You eat oatmeal, your daddy. I know you laughing.
He's like, I don't even like oatmeal.
Man, you cursed that man with that head, man.
He got it, baby. He got it, baby.
Man.
Curse that man.
Come on, man. Don't do it like that, dog.
Curse
got room to grow,
with that
man.
head, Oh,
I worked to make that head, boy. I had to put work in. Front to the back to the side. Boy,
he had to put his back into it to make that.
Everything into that. Put everything into that one.
Yeah. Oh man. Listen, family. Listen, this has been a great show. Again, we want to thank our brother from Believing Lions, our brother, Mr. Jack Kavanaugh, for joining us tonight. Shout out to Jack. And listen, this is the Come On In Sports Network, and this has been As the NFL Turns. Listen, family, also to let y'all know, right now, we are in the stages of we're going to do the first round of the NFL draft. And like Zach said, everybody on X, on Facebook, Twitter, wherever you're at, Instagram, please share this on your social media platforms. Please share it, grow the family. Come hit the links in the chat. Come on in, join the family. This is how we do. We're a family. It's like you're at the barbershop. We sit back, we relax, we have fun, we hit you with facts. And listen, again, we're nothing without you. And again, we appreciate you all and thank you all for everything. And before we get out of here, Coach, you got anything to say, Zach or Nine? Before we get out of here,
shout out to the Grambling State Tigers.
Yeah.
Who go get there
in the first round of the playoffs tonight in the NCAA.
Coach, that was not the real tournament.
Hey,
baby.
They got to get their head beat in by Purdue.
We'll see.
Man.
We'll see.
Oh, man. Not Grambling, man. Do like that.
Hey, that's them.
What they got? Carlos, do it again. What they got?
Oh, man.
That's the wrong seed, the 16th seed.
Don't do like that, bro.
They in. The Southern ain't got no seed. They in.
Don't care. I'd rather have nothing. It don't matter. You go get your head beat in.
But
listen,
I'm with Coach Rob.
I'm gonna be pulling for him though.
I want to give a big shout out to McNeese State University, the number 12
Yes.
seed.
Let's go.
They're from where I'm from, Lake Charles, Louisiana, right
Let's
down
go.
the road.
Cowboys.
They play the Gonzaga Bulldogs, and I will be calling that game tomorrow because it is my hometown. I only have one time to do it because they might lose. So let me go ahead and call that game. I never thought I would call McNeese State Cowboys game a day in my life. So here I am tomorrow, y'all. So come check me out.
Look at Jerry Hayden, Coach.
Yeah, I'll be out like 6:30 p.m. for that, man.
Jerry Hayden, Coach. Jerry Hayden.
Oh, no, bro. So,
Jerry, Coach.
shout out to the McNeese Cowboys from Lake Charles, Louisiana, man.
What Jerry said, bro?
Jerry said one and done. Oh, there he goes. Jerry.
But I'm gonna be nice. Shout out to the Jackson State University women.
Women,
yeah, play
yeah.
UConn, bro.
Yeah.
You're gonna get your ass beat down.
Yeah, Reginald. Hey, Reginald, we will be having the first round of NFL draft, man. All of us. We're gonna try to have special guests come on during the night. Also, it's gonna be a busy night. We're gonna try to make it a mega night. Try to get as many guests to come on as possible to give us their thoughts about their team selection. unless you're Carolina, you gotta wait the second round. But other than that, man, I had to mess with my guys from Carolina. Love y'all boys, man. But with that being said, family, look, we gonna get out of here. We all got other jobs to do. Listen, this has been As the NFL Turns. And listen, as always, family, love, and we out. Talk to y'all later.
Some sort of pain, you caused a permanent stain, which has determined your fate. I've never seen so clear, I feel the end and it's near. The day of reckoning's here, the sound of deafening fear.